Hi everybody, and welcome to the Season Pass video thingy, the spoiler-free video version of the podcast all about TV shows that lasted one season or less. I'm Michael Keane, and... oh, wait a second. Sorry, one moment. Un momento. Just gotta find the button. These darn Universal remotes, man. They, you know, becoming invisible has become a lot easier since 1990. You notice that? This thing's crazy.
All of my friends show and put in the time. They're wasting their money and living a lie.
Sight Unseen is the 10th episode of 1990's The Flash, although it's our second episode in 1991, Ghost in the Machine being the first of that new year. So audiences probably thought they knew what they were in for, and maybe possibly didn't tune in for Sight Unseen when it aired. As we all know, the series got canceled, and part of that was money, but part of it was probably also disinterest. I mean, if it was a hit show, it's a hit show. And, yeah, that's why you put the fucking Invisible Man episode at the beginning. I mean, do I have to fucking spell it out? Invisible Man episode at the beginning. It's fucking science. All my anger aside, this is a great episode with a tight structure that never forces us to watch boring filler, while also providing all of the story beats we need to be properly entertained.
All right already.
It's essentially everything good about Ghost in the Machine, but with none of the negatives.
Nobody cares about them!
And yes, one of those positives is casting a douchebag from License to Kill as the villain. Great job, April Webster. The story features Tina and her nagging boss, Ruth. And yes, it turns out there are other people working at Star Labs, and this is the first we've seen of them. The two ladies get trapped in Star Labs after a security guard is killed and a deadly toxin is released into the air, forcing an emergency shutdown procedure. Seriously, who the fuck are these people? Barry, stuck on the outside and unable to directly do anything about the situation, must track down the killer's next potential victims, after we learn things at Star Labs are much more shady than originally thought. What works best about this episode is how it uses Tina and Ruth's relationship, both to provide us with a great red herring and to create a high level of tension throughout. While the denouement is somewhat predictable and their story's conclusion is a bit murky and perhaps underwritten, they do the job brilliantly for most of the episode. It was great to actually feel something for Tina, as well as for Deborah May's Ruth, who makes great progress as a character over the course of the episode.
Ruth? Ugh. If she were any tighter, she'd snap.
Did someone mention my name?
We also have a great secondary antagonist in the form of George Dickerson's FBI agent Quinn, who really should have felt unnecessary, but instead helps to keep us guessing and therefore invested in the story. Once his hazy part in the plot is explained, it also adds some depth to our central villain. Speaking of which, Christopher Neame expertly handles his role as the Invisible Man, starting out creepy and one-dimensional, and ending creepy and three-dimensional, which is pretty much all I want out of a comic book TV villain. Specifically, his conversation with Barry near the end of the episode is a highlight. It's not a masterclass in acting, but it does create a lot of depth that we don't necessarily always see in these villains.
You can't kill 100,000 people. I can, and I am. No, there's another way.
This is not an amazing episode of television, but it is legitimately entertaining and well written. Some plot holes aside, nothing feels out of place, and we get a great story, undermined only by its murky ending. Major props to the writers and director Christopher Leitch. This was much better than Teen Wolf 2. And yes, Christopher Leitch did direct Teen Wolf 2, and it makes me giggle. Also, he probably should have directed Out of Control. Next time, Julio gets a story. Will he finally buy Barry that Keurig machine? Tune in to find out.
Tonight, we open the gates of hell!
I know you're...
So I gained.
This is just not cool. He's gonna...
Yep, I'm invisible again. Just standing here being invisible. Yippers. You should subscribe, guys, you know, because I'm invisible, so I can, like, totally, like, sneak into your house and strangle you to death if you don't subscribe to this channel. Or, better yet, add peanutbutterdisaster.com to your favorites bookmarker thing. Do people still use bookmarks? I don't know. Do people still use bookmarks in their browsers? I have no idea. RSS feed? Add this to your RSS feed. Add everything on Peanut Butter Disaster to your RSS feed. That's peanutbutterdisaster.com. I'm gonna go now.
Peanut Butter Disaster.